here. First-time rowers from London preparing to cross the Atlantic this winter to raise money for the incurable neurological condition that's left a friend in a wheelchair. The pair are going to be naked most of the time to cut down on chafing, and will spend over the 2 months in the tiny boat with no toilet. Yeah, probably too much information at this stage of a Saturday afternoon. Anyway, their challenge being supported by, amongst others, England and West Ham goalkeeper Robert Green. Delighted to say I'm joined in the studio by one of the pair, fully clothed at this stage, I have to say, Richard Hume. Richard, thanks for joining us on 94.9. As I say, we're going to cross back to Portugal very shortly, but I just want to get, in fact, we'll take that in due course. First of all, need to know how this has come about. Richard, what is the condition that's left your friend in a wheelchair, and why choose rowing the Atlantic as a way?
Well, thank you for having me to begin with. Yeah, we're doing it for a mutual friend of ours called James Downey, and he suffers from ataxia, which is a condition that basically affects your coordination, and coordination obviously is down to speech, even your eyelids going up and down, walking, a full range of all different problems. And it was just been a lifelong dream of mine since sort of 96, 97 when I was at school, and was a little kind of 14, 15-year-old, and all of a sudden it all began to snowball, and
suddenly there was a reason for doing it.
Exactly, and I can't really believe that I'm actually going to do it. It's always one of those things that you hear other people have done, and all of a sudden I'm going to be the one that does it.
Yeah, absolutely. When you say you've always dreamed about it, when did you get hooked on rowing? How did you get hooked on rowing?
I remember it being in 97 when I read an article in a newspaper about a guy who had rowed the Atlantic. My mum says that I was looking at the sea one holiday time saying, "Oh, I'm going to go and row that," and we were looking out on the Atlantic. Yeah, exactly. But I think for me, I actually suffered from a very chronic back problem when I was younger, sort of 14, 15, 16, and was told I would never really do sports ever again, sort of thing. And I'm just one of those people that doesn't like being told that I can't do things, and that was how it worked out. And like I said, it's a bit of a dream that I'm now in a position to be doing it.
No, absolutely amazing. With your mate's neurological, I mean, is this a very rare condition, or is it what?
It's relatively rare. It's something that affects far more people than you would imagine, and it's something that affects far more people than actually realise that it affects them. I'd actually never come across it until I met James, and I think one of the reasons we decided to do it for that charity was not only because we knew him, but a lot of these big charities get such great exposure through doing, not necessarily particularly big things, and we just thought, well, this is a great opportunity to really do something abnormal and really promote a charity which, does very well for itself, but it's a very small, self-contained charity, and we just wanted to get as much exposure for him and for that. And it's amazing, I mean, we've been at the Wimbledon Fairs this afternoon, and it's amazing how many people come up to you and say, "Oh, I know somebody who
really
has ataxia," and all of a sudden it starts just snowballing and snowballing and snowballing. So the numbers that I know of are quite small, but as I understand it, over 10,000 people in the UK have the condition, and it's something that I dare say, as more research gets done for it, because there is no cure at the moment, it might come about that a lot more people have it without realising that that's the problem.
No, absolutely.
So it's a really great cause, and it's in times like this with the recession and stuff, it's a good reason to actually part with some money and help us achieve something really quite special.
Absolutely. That's so true what you say about it. I'm involved with a charity working with an eye condition called retinitis pigmentosa. So probably the vast majority of
couldn't
people
even spell it.
Absolutely never heard of the thing. But of course, once you get involved with it, you start to realise just how many people's lives are. Anyway, that's kind of by the by. What's the connection with Rob Green?
Tom Barnes, my rowing partner, was at school with him. He claimed he was actually a better footballer than him, but
which is why Rob Green's ended up in goal.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, Barnes is very quick down the wing apparently, but I don't know. He was going to come here today, but he's on the Wimbledon stand. So yeah, we've been very lucky. We've just sort of come across celebrities that have helped us endorse every single month. And we've had, I met Chrissy Wellington, who's an Ironman world champion, on the train in Putney 3 months ago, and she said she would do it. So it's just luck of the draw really. But Rob Green was a big one for us because Barnsley knows him very well, and he's been able to help us on a few other things as well. So we've had James Simpson Daniel, we've got Steve Redgrave, we've got a good bunch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really good.
Just as far as kind of, it's not the sort of thing you get up in the morning and go, oh yeah, I think I'll row the Atlantic. This is Funny enough, we had a guy in earlier talking about the Tour de France. You know, there are some... Actually, will you bear with us, Richard? We are just going to cross to Leiria in Portugal and hear for ourselves how Dwayne Chambers gets on in this second 100 metres men's heat. Obiquelu of Portugal won the first heat by a distance. I dare say plenty of people will be expecting Dwayne Chambers to do something similar. The fastest man in Europe so far this season. We can get commentary now from the BBC's Mike Costello.
Carry the tag of favouritism and the burden that sometimes proves to be to even the most experienced of athletes. So against him here then are 5 athletes, the best 5 in Europe aside from Chambers. Lane 1 is vacant. In lane 2, Roman Smirnov of Russia. Emanuele Di Gregorio of Italy is in 3. Then it's Chambers in lane number 4. 2 wins in Europe so far this season at smaller meetings in Greece and in France. Then outside Chambers, the number 1 ranked in Europe this season, is Marshall Mbonjok of France, who ran in the race behind Usain Bolt in the Czech Republic 3 nights ago, where Craig Pickering finished 2nd for Britain. In lane 6, Stefan Schwab of Germany, ranked 2nd in Europe so far this season. And on the outside for Poland is Dariusz Kuch. He's in lane number 7. They're settling on their blocks then for the men's 100 metres. And they get away first time, and Chambers almost stumbles out of the blocks. I think he expected to be called back, but he shows the greater acceleration from 40 to 60 metres and now starts to pull away. Chambers wins in 10.07 seconds with a slight following wind, very close to his best time of the season. Chambers comes good again. He wins, and it's a clean sweep for Britain so far on the track this afternoon.
Yeah, job.
So good news for Dwayne Chambers and for Team GB, and without that stumble early on, you'd like to think he might well have beaten his best for the season. But Dwayne Chambers home comfortably, the winner of that second final in the men's 100 metres out in Leiria in Portugal in this Europa Cup tournament. We'll keep you posted on events because, of course, the thing very much up and running now. We'll keep you posted on events in Portugal between now and 6 o'clock.